Section86.com. We're changing the world of podcasting one show at a time.
86 Productions.
Take what you wanna take. Don't leave me here. Lasting leap years ever. Your fear of the one and only love.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Off the Mark, the best podcast providing the most in-depth insight and analysis into the world of professional wrestling. On today's show, we have Aaron, Roger, Doug, and Andrew to discuss the 2018 Royal Rumble. So let's just get right into it. Aaron, the Women's Royal Rumble match. What do you think about this, and who do you have picked to win?
Well, it's interesting. I know Roger had talked a little bit about it on our last show and kind of how too much of a good thing can be bad. And I do agree with him. I actually am very disappointed that it's 30 women and not 20. I think that 20 would have made it a little more special. The other thing, too, is I was kind of thinking about what might have been even better is if they had a network special maybe 2 weeks after the Men's Royal Rumble and have it only be women, where it was a Women's Royal Rumble for the main event. And then, of course, the two championships being defended. And then you have a couple other blood feuds there. You know, you can make it a 2-hour special, like NXT almost. That's something that I would have preferred. I digress, though. Build up to this has been fairly decent. They, you know, if you look at it as just the match itself, they've done the same thing the men had done. The only thing is there's going to be a lot of surprise entrances to the point where we don't know who's actually going to win. With that said, I'm going to pick the same pick I picked at our end of the year show. I'm going to go with Asuka. I don't feel confident about that pick, though. I feel much, much less confident than I did 3 weeks ago. But my pick right now is Asuka.
Prior to Monday, I was 100% sure it was going to be Asuka. That interesting way that they booked her of the, hey, look, I'm the last one standing, has me a tad bit concerned that they're making it so obvious that she's going to win that maybe she doesn't. Also, this is the only opportunity you have to have Asuka lose without actually losing her streak because it's an elimination, not a pinfall. The problem I have is that there's no one else really worthwhile to win this match. Charlotte Flair is the best choice to win this match if Asuka isn't in it, and she's the champion, so she can't win. Maybe. Nia Jax is the big person, so they're not going to win. Outside of Ronda Rousey or some surprise entrant, Bayley's not going to win. Sasha's not going to win. Becky's not going to win. Like, you kind of just know that they're not going to win. So to me, I have to circle back to, I think it's Asuka. And the reason I think it's Asuka is that I don't think she's going to go after Alexa. I think when they did that promo on Monday and they showed Charlotte Flair towering over tiny little Alexa Bliss, I think Asuka wins the Rumble, pulls a he shall not be named, moves over to SmackDown and challenges Charlotte, and now you have a mega money match for WrestleMania. So I'm going to stick with Asuka, but I'm not as confident as I was prior to Monday.
I have a history of picking people that aren't even in the Royal Rumble to win the Royal Rumble. So my official pick is going to be Ronda Rousey. If I was to pick somebody that is actually announced for the match, I would go along with you guys and say Asuka. But I had also heard a rumor from multiple sources, and I wouldn't be surprised at this, as a possible Stephanie McMahon.
I think she's doing commentary is what I had heard, but that doesn't mean that she couldn't, you know.
I was going to say they did have that 1 year where all the commentators were in the Royal Rumble. I could see her being entry number 30.
She's a former women's champion.
That's right.
I mean, really,
but my official pick is Ronda Rousey.
She's not really. I mean, she was handed it, but whatever.
No, she pinned. She won the match. Yeah, it wasn't a handing. She pinned like Jacqueline or something like that. I mean, I think Hunter pedigreed her before, but whatever. That's a win. I mean, it's not like they did the hey, we found this title backstage. Here you go.
Well, I was gonna eventually. I was thinking about picking Ellsworth, but I guess he can't be in it. But I'm gonna pick someone who is actually not announced as well, and I'm certain that this person is making a comeback, and it's not something we saw coming at all. But I believe that AJ Lee will win the first Women's Royal Rumble.
I mean, that at least Doug's is rumored. That one is far-fetched.
No, I'm serious. I think it's going to happen.
I have a crisp $5 bill with your name on it.
The wife of the man who walked out at the Rumble and who is, I think, still engaged in a lawsuit with the E is going to come back and win the first Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but it's AJ Lee. It's not CM Punk.
So are you just going for fourth place in the predictions right now? Like, is that the strategy that we're going with right now?
No, I wanted to pick Caitlyn, but because I think Caitlyn's going to come back, and then I think AJ and her will team up and knock a bunch of people out, and then I think AJ will turn on her just so she's the eventual winner. But I think that Asuka is going to have it. I think Asuka will be in the final four, and I think something's going to happen where they all turn on her. She goes over. And I still believe that AJ Lee will be the winner. Here's my logic. Here's my logic. Because she keeps showing stuff on Instagram of her working out, and she never did that before recently. And it looked like, I think there was one comment, something about maybe a comeback or something like that. And I was like, you know what? That would be interesting because no one would see her coming back. And they have those 12 spots to fill. So you could have her come in, and maybe if she doesn't win, she will get to the final four. Then people are going to be like, we want her, blah, blah, blah. It would actually be a big deal, I think, if she came back and won it. But it's going to be something that, we'll wait and see.
Well, the big question here is it's the first women's Royal Rumble match, right? So it needs to be somebody very special, right? And Charlotte Flair, as Roger had said, is not in the picture, so it can't be Charlotte. The next most special person is most likely Asuka. You could make a case for Sasha Banks. You could even make one for Becky Lynch. But realistically, like if we're putting odds on this, those are the ones, and Ronda Rousey, of course, too, just because of her name. Do you think, though, Andy, like, WWE, do you think that for the first women's match that they would have somebody completely from the outside come in, like let's say Lita or a Beth Phoenix, a Trish Stratus, a AJ Lee, Caitlyn? Do you think that they had not been in the picture for the longest time? Do you think that they would have them come in to win the very first ever Women's Royal Rumble match?
Well, didn't they have Goldberg come in and where he beat Kevin Owens and then he dropped it to Brock at WrestleMania? Didn't he just do that?
That did happen, but he did not win the Royal Rumble.
Nor was he the first Universal Champion.
Well, he wasn't the first, but they kind of just handed it to him. Mm-hmm. No matter how he looked at it, that's what happened. I mean, I believe that I truthfully believe that AJ will be there, and I really believe that she will win it. And when she does, like I said, PayPal me that $5 as soon as it happens. I want it.
No, I have a crisp $5.
No. PayPal it to me.
It's crisp.
I will put my $5 bill in the mail. I will put a stamp on it, and I will send it to you. Because at that point, I'm sleeping outside because I'm eating all of the furniture in my house. That's how ridiculous I think the idea of AJ Lee winning is.
Now, what about, Roger, let me ask you this, though. Based on what he said, if AJ Lee was even in the match, would you be like, oh, my God, he's right? Would you be surprised? Like, what type of shock would that be for you?
I think it would be a huge shock. I think it'd be cool. I still wouldn't think she's winning. I will say this, though, to a point that you made earlier. If Trish Stratus wanted to make a comeback, I could believe that she would win it because I think Vince always valued her very high. She was one of the MVPs of Raw back in the day. She has the look that you want. She was a very good character. So I could believe Trish coming back and winning it. I don't. Yeah, if AJ Lee came up, it's going to be so many CM Punk chants that they're not going to put the focus on her. Like, I just don't see it happening.
What about Santina?
I could see that.
I would have seen that prior to the mistake of letting Ellsworth win Money in the Bank. If you let a man win the first Royal Rumble, yeah.
No. But could you see Santina showing up?
Probably not the right climate to have cross-stitching women being looked upon as a joke. Like, just, that was maybe okay 10 years ago. I don't know if that wouldn't necessarily get some bad blowback right now.
So Seth Rollins, Jason Jordan versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Doug, what did you think of the feud so far? And then who was your pick?
I think this feud is stupid. I can see that it's setting up something for the future of Jordan probably being the reason the Shield breakup or something along those lines. But I'm not a big fan of Jason Jordan right now. So I will pick Rollins and Jordan just because I think they're going to continue whatever it is that they're doing with them, possibly with a feud with the club coming up because they seem to have something going beforehand. So Rollins and Jordan is my pick.
I go with the Bar, and the reason I go with the Bar is that I don't see Rollins and Jordan lasting. I think this is the catalyst for them to kind of break up. I'm kind of in the same boat as Doug. Jason Jordan has not impressed me so far. He's done a decent job at reacting to the fact that the crowd hates him. So I guess in that manner they've done it. But I had no interest in his singles push. But it's time to kick that off. So I go with the Bar. I could see them feuding with the Club next. Whereas Rollins and Jordan, if they keep the titles, there's really no one else for there to go. We obviously know the Revival aren't getting pushed anytime soon. So I'm going with the Bar.
I'm actually going with Doug's pick. I'm going to pick Rollins and Jordan based on what he had said. That's actually the same way that I feel. I think I do feel that there is a breakup coming, or catalyst, as Roger had mentioned, for the breakup of the Shield potentially. But I see that at the next pay-per-view. I think this one they have them, stand tall.
I like the idea of the Revival somehow getting involved, and I wish that this would be a three-way. I wish that somehow the Revival got put into the match, but of course that's not going to happen. But in this case, I'm going to have to go with Cesaro and Sheamus. I just don't know why you would keep it on Rollins and Jordan. But, if you look at it one way, I compare Jason Jordan as Roman Reigns right now because they keep pushing him and no one wants it. They're like, we're fed up with this. They boo as soon as he talks. And yeah, he gets that reaction, but I don't think that's the reaction you want to get for someone like him. So I think they should stay away from that. But it's still going to happen. But anyways, so let's move from the Raw tag titles to the SmackDown titles. And it's going to be the Usos versus what do we call them? It's not American Alpha. What do we call them now?
World's greatest alphas.
The greatest alphas. And that is a 2 out of 3 falls tag team match, which I always dug these. So I'm really excited. I wish it would have been like each match was something different as well. So like you could have like a tables match for one, a ladder match for one. I wish they would have done something like that as well.
So 3 stages of hell.
Thank you. Yes, the 3 stages of hell. They should have had something like that so then they can actually then turn into a ladder match. And then of course, Benjamin takes that nice bump. By the way, Aaron, you spelled it's not Gable. It's not Jordan. It's Gable or Benjamin. But yeah, so I wish they would have done that because Shelton Benjamin he always has to take that dive. He always does. So, but so in this case, I thought at first the Usos were going to win, but I think you got to give it to Gable and Benjamin this time, just because of the DUI thing that just happened for I think it was Jey Uso. So you just need. I think that it's time to put something positive, put it with those guys. Be about America and stuff. So I'm gonna have to go with Gable and Benjamin.
Well, for none of the reasons that you had mentioned, I'm going with Gable and Benjamin. I'm sorry, except for one reason that you mentioned, which was the DUI. I think that they've also teased it quite a bit. This is a great opportunity to take it off of the Usos and have the Usos potentially chase it or move them on to different things. So I am picking World's Greatest American Alphas.
So apparently the Usos are the un-Americans. Because I thought it was American Samoa, but I could be wrong. I pretty much mirror Aaron's statement for not many of the reasons that Andy said, except for the DUI and the fact that the Usos basically won the title shortly before WrestleMania for the first time as part of the heel gimmick last year. Gotten to a point where they've been champions long enough. Gable and Benjamin kind of need this to cement the heel turn. I think would be a good move to have the Usos chase them for a little bit. You can also get some of the other teams involved in the SmackDown, which their tag division actually has a deep roster, whether it's Rusev Day or if you want to go even the Fashion Police. So I think Gable and Benjamin, the World's Greatest American Alphas, I think they take it here. I think the match will be fantastic. I think this is my sleeper for match of the night because the Usos can go, Gable can go, Benjamin can go. 2 out of 3 falls. This could, be one of the matches we talk about match of the year, even potentially if they give them enough time.
Next up on WWE Ride Along, Usos get a DUI. I don't know if anybody else noticed that they did do a commercial for that. So I think this is a good time to get the belts off of the Usos and get some maybe attention away from that so that they don't get any kind of slack or anything like that. And I think you built Gable and Benjamin up to be a good enough team that they will take it. Gable and Benjamin are going to win. My question to you guys, though, is for like a bonus point. Can you name the order of the falls? Like I will go out on a limb and even say that Gable Benjamin get the 2 falls right away.
Wow.
I think they've built the Usos up enough. I think the Usos get the second fall. is what it is. I think that'll go, it's not going to be where Usos get the first and then Benjamin and Gable get back to back. I don't think they're going to go that route because normally you do that with the sympathetic babyface. So instead, I think it's going to be they're going to trade them.
I have the Gable and Benjamin kind of cheating to get the first fall and maybe like injuring a body part. And then the Usos steal the second fall with like a roll up. They can fight back valiantly to try to defend their titles, but maybe his knee gives out when they go for a super kick or something like that. That gives Gable and Benjamin the capitalize. So I think it's a trade. I think it goes 1-1-1.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to go the 1-1-1. I don't think anytime you have a 2 out of 3 falls, I think it's only a handful of times that I can remember where they only went for 2. So it has to go 1-1-1.
It's a small amount of 2, but it could be 1-2 then, because it could be Usos get the first fall, but then Gable and Benjamin get the next 2. Mm-hmm. The other option.
No, I think it'll still be 1-1-1-1 or the 1-1-1. I think that Gable and Benjamin will somehow steal the first one, and then I think the Usos. Then they're going to start tearing it up, and then all of a sudden, Usos are going to, and then it's going to be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I think some way, somehow, I believe that Gable and Benjamin will win.
And so, Doug, your pick is Gable Benjamin, correct?
Yeah, yeah. We're all on agreement, I think, or
except
has
for
anybody?
No,
Andy took
I
Usos.
no, I did not. I said Gable and Benjamin.
So we're clear, Andy's pick is the Legion of Doom making a comeback and winning the title.
Yes. The revival is going to come out of nowhere.
I was going to say
it'll be just like it. No, that would be funny if he did pick the revival at first, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, I'm going to take this. It'd be WrestleMania all over again.
I was going to say like Hulk Hogan comes back or something like that, and then Benjamin yells, "You racist" or something.
Well, at least if Hogan
Don't call me brother.
It's all about a real American because it's got to be about America who wins the title.
AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
All right,
in a handicap match.
This is gonna be a really good match. You guys said something earlier about the Blue Thunder Bomb. That was a great point. In this case, I don't think you could give it to Sami Zayn, and I don't think you can give it to Kevin Owens right now. I think you have to keep it on AJ Styles because, AJ Styles, no matter how I look at it, the WWE did miss the boat at first, but because of that, they now see the potential for him. I don't see how you could pick Sammy or Kevin at this time, and I'm actually curious on who he's going to face afterwards. But we'll get into that later. But I still think AJ Styles, hands down, he is definitely going to take this one home.
Definitely AJ Styles. This is I've been saying it since I've been predicting Nakamura to win the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles versus Nakamura at WrestleMania. So AJ Styles holds on to the belt here.
I don't see
agree.
a scenario where it's logical for Cammy to win the title. To just be quite honest, AJ Styles, you can't swap the title here. A handicap match doesn't particularly make them look great. The storyline doesn't work. AJ has to win. So I think the only question for me is which one of them does he pin?
I think he's going to pin Sammy. There's and that would make more sense. And then Kevin can yell at him or whatever. And possibly Kevin faces him. I don't know. February's not. That's Raw, if I'm correct. So I guess
Raw. It'll be Elimination Chamber, and it'll be Raw.
Yeah. So he won't even face him until WrestleMania. So they may have a blow off thing with him and Owens or something like that. And then I think Doug. I think we're thinking on the same page on that part. But yeah, AJ Styles hands down. And I think I don't think it'll be match of the night, but I think it'll be at least top 2. There's no. I can't think of it any other way how it could be.
Well, there's only 6 matches, so it might not be too hard to get top 2.
Well, that's exactly.
But moving on to the next match, we have Lesnar versus Kane and Strowman, a triple threat match as opposed to a handicap. I think that it's been solidified. We knew this ever since Goldberg won the Universal title. I think that we all knew he's going to drop it to Lesnar. Lesnar's going to drop it to Reigns. So I see no way they're going to deviate from this course. Lesnar is the winner.
This might be the most pointless match in the history of title matches. Like you said, we've known since Goldberg won the title at Fastlane that this is ultimately leading to the crowning of Roman Reigns. There's no chance that Lesnar loses here. Also, it's a waste of Braun Strowman. He should be in this Rumble. He should be probably one of the final 4 and look very strong. Instead, he's just going to be a spectator. We know the only reason Kane's in this match is to eat a pinfall. if the match isn't going to be, questionable in doubt, the match needs to be great. Brock AJ was fine because Brock AJ was amazing. Brock Joe was fine because Brock Joe was amazing. And Fatal 4-Way was fine because the Fatal 4-Way was amazing. This match is not going to be good. And the winner's obvious. Like, this is going to be the worst match of the night, in my opinion. And I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, Roger. I think what's going to happen is that you made Braun look so strong and overpowering, and then somehow Brock is going to come out, one F5, and then two F5s, and I think probably by the third one he is done, or maybe he just somehow knocks Braun out just long enough so Kane eats that pinfall. 1, 2, 3, it's over with. So yeah, I think we're all of us are on the same page, and yeah, it's going to be the worst match of the night. This might be the time where you go and get some food, or a couple hot dogs, get some Chipotle.
Sweep it. Let's just move on to the Men's Royal Rumble.
Men's Royal Rumble. This one, I'm really looking forward to the Rumble. I just hope that Ty Dillinger comes out at number 10 again, because I think that should be his spot. And I think the crowd's going to go nuts as soon as he does. I just hope that they don't eliminate him after 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Men's Royal Rumble. In this case, I think that this has been foreshadowed for a while. AJ being the WWE title holder, and I believe that what's going to happen is that Shinsuke Nakamura will be victorious, and then that feud with him and Styles is going to be awesome. And I actually believe also that just leading up all the way to WrestleMania, they're going to keep doing stuff to each other, and then all of a sudden we're going to be like, what more can you do? And then I think they're going to surprise all of us, and I think that they will have match of the night at WrestleMania. I'm just going to say that now. I fully believe that.
This is a very hard one for me, and not in the same way that every pick was hard for you, Andy. But this is very hard for me because my heart is saying Nakamura, but my head is saying Roman Reigns. And I understand they have Elimination Chamber, and most likely that match will be for whoever's going to face Lesnar then at WrestleMania. And it's a great way to do it because it's at Philly. You're in Philly, and you want to make the crowd be happy going home. Nakamura winning, crowd's going to be nuts. I truly believe that the crowd will go absolutely bonkers for Nakamura. However, though, I still have this weird feeling in my head that maybe WWE is thinking we are going to turn Reigns heel. And a great way to do it is Philly hated him. So we're going to have Reigns come out. He's going to be number 30 or number 27 or something like that, and he's going to win. And the crowd's going to boo him, and everyone's still going to boo him knowing that he's main eventing WrestleMania, and it gives them the opportunity then to turn him heel. And there's something that's saying that might actually happen. So I'm not going to deviate. I'm going to pick Roman Reigns, and I really hope I'm wrong.
So I am in total agreement with Aaron when it comes to this is really difficult because to me there are two clear winners. Both of them, in my opinion, are going to main event WrestleMania, quote unquote, for the title. One of them will be the last match. That is Roman Reigns. As I said before, it's pretty obvious that this is going to be his crowning achievement. He's going to beat Brock Lesnar at 34. He's going to win the title. But here's why I'm not picking him. Paul Heyman said something, I think, on one of the last, let's say, 3 or 4 Raws ago about how he wants to get away from the idea of people earning matches, and he just wants someone to step up and challenge Brock Lesnar. I think he laid that groundwork so that Roman Reigns doesn't have to win the Rumble, so that he can be the guy who's eliminated by Nakamura last. Nakamura gets the massive face pop in Philadelphia. Roman comes out and says, you know what, Brock? You've never beaten me. I challenge you to a title match. A couple other people like Strowman come out and say, you should have to earn that. Now you have a setup for Elimination Chamber. The winner goes on to face Lesnar. Roman Reigns, of course, is the last man standing tall. I'm picking Nakamura. I'm not super confident about it. I'm at like 50%, same odds with Roman at 50%. I don't see anyone else winning, and I hope I'm right because, truthfully, it's going to be a terrible moment if he wins in Philly again. There's going to be no point in having Elimination Chamber because even if he defends the number 1 contendership, we know he's going to win. So let Nakamura get the big moment. Let SmackDown's title match get a little bit of shine because we know it's not going to go on last. That's the better move. I'm going with Shinsuke, and I hope to God I'm right.
I will keep with my prediction of Nakamura still winning. I almost want to see Roman Reigns win just because I don't think he'd make it out of the stadium alive.
Oh, you think they would riot?
Oh, I think it would. I mean, it's Philly. You saw what they did when The Rock went to proclaim him as the Rumble champion. If The Rock can't save you in Philly, there's nobody that can save you in Philly. They should send out Santa Claus just for fun to raise up Roman Reigns' hand.
If Roman comes out wearing an Eagles jersey, do they still boo him?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, all you'd have to
I would
do is
almost want to throw a Patriots jersey at him just so that I can see a better
so he
reaction.
holds it up and be like, "What?" And then people just start chucking stuff at him.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Oh, I would die laughing, man. That would be so awesome. But yeah,
That would be the best heel turn, is if he would come out as a Patriot jersey. to real American too.
Oh. Come out and say, Tom Brady, I don't know what he's going to do with that 6th ring. Maybe put it on his ring finger on the other hand or something like that. Just be a complete jerk about it. But anyway, so let's talk about our sponsor, HostGator. Are you a blogger or podcaster, or are you just not happy with your web host? You need to check out HostGator.com. You're going to find web hosting made easy and affordable. HostGator offers unlimited disk space, unlimited bandwidth, one-click script installs with a free step builder, hands down the best controlled panel out there. Stop by today and try a free demo. It's so easy as, and if you use a special coupon code, Off the Mark, you're going to save 25% off your web hosting packages. So what do you got to lose? Check out HostGator.com and take a bite out of your web hosting costs. And make sure you check out Section 86's Off the Mark page and click on the banner at the top to save big on items from WWEshop.com. So let's talk about NXT TakeOver. NXT TakeOver, I mean, realistically, they have so much time to figure out matches, and I believe that this one will be just as good as all the other ones. And I think it's going to be shocking. I think there's going to be a couple matches that we're like, this is going to be good, but then we're going to be like, whoa, that was too good. Like, how are they going to follow up, the following night with WWE? But let's talk about Johnny Gargano and Cien Almas. It's good. This is actually interesting because I'm wondering. I'm still curious if Drew Galloway got injured and they're like, let's give it over to Cien, because that makes sense because it was towards the end of the match, or if it was, I'm just not sure. But in this case, I actually believe that Cien will retain, but I think it's going to be because of outside interference, because it's got to that point. I mean, Doug, we were there back in May. And it's been 8 months, and I see I guess I can't think of his gimmick, the Psycho Killer. I think he's coming back. I think he's ready to go. Ciampa. Yep. Tommaso. So what do you think, Doug?
I agree. I think Cien wins this match because of a Ciampa return or some kind of just shenanigans. Even if he doesn't actually show, I can see them doing like where they play the music or something along those lines, and Gargano gets distracted, Cien gets a roll up or something. I'm not expecting too much out of this match because I'm not a big Cien fan, but I'd like to see Johnny wrestling. I just don't think they're going to give him the title.
So I'm going to say that Gargano and Cien had a great match at TakeOver 3. So those two click very well. And Gargano can really wrestle with anyone. And this was an idea that was floated out by someone on Reddit. I'm not going to take credit for it, but I think it's a fantastic idea. Ciampa interferes, but he helps Gargano win the title. And the reason he helps Gargano win the title is that as much as Johnny is happy and he's celebrating this win, Ciampa, the next night on NXT goes, "You've never won a thing without me." And he basically ruins his entire title reign by saying the only reason you were ever tag champion was because of me. The only reason you got to this company was because of me. And the only reason you're the NXT champion is because of me. And then he can go away, and you have the story of Johnny Gargano desperately trying to prove that he can do it on his own without Ciampa. That is a storyline that would be fantastic. And then when he finally proves to the world that he can win and beat the top guys without him, Ciampa comes back and they fight for the title. And what a better way for Ciampa to stick it to him by ending his reign himself. That would be a fantastic story. So I picked Gargano.
So do you think that they're going to drag it out to, like, we'll say June or July to do this feud?
I think it ends where it started. I think they end at whatever it was Backlash last year, but wherever TakeOver. I think they're going back to Chicago this year, if I'm correct.
I don't know that to be true.
Wherever that middle TakeOver is where I think they end it. Not TakeOver Brooklyn, not TakeOver WrestleMania. It's going to be that next one, in my opinion, I think is where they go. And that's where I think they finish that storyline, or at least have their first match.
Interesting. I mean, that is like, the person who came up with that's actually an ingenious idea, because then it's something that you really have to think about, and it's not one of these cookie cutter storylines, because I don't think that's ever been done where they've done like a storyline like that. That's genius.
And it fits their, like, the thing is, it's possible Ciampa might not be ready to wrestle, so it keeps their feud alive without actually pulling Ciampa into the feud. He can go away for 5 months because the story can be Johnny trying to prove to the world that he didn't need Ciampa. So when he fights Almas, when he fights a returning Drew McIntyre, like, you have a very desperate and maybe even more aggressive Johnny Gargano.
All right. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right. Aaron, what do you think about this match?
Yeah, I saw that too, and I thought that was genius. I thought that is a level of storytelling that you would see on like Game of Thrones, because it's interwoven. There's a lot of there's long-term plans that were laid. And so because of that, I don't think WWE would do that. I'm going to pick Almas.
Okay. The next match. I think that, there's a couple other matches, but this one I think will be match of the night. We have Adam Cole versus Aleister Black in a hardcore match. So it's going to be, I think this match is going to be very interesting, because they're going to be in Philly. So what are they going to do? And, these guys can get very creative. And like, I said earlier, they've had time to plan these matches out. They could probably have almost like, we're going to do this spot and this spot and this spot, and have it planned out. And I think that then they could say, okay, this will work. If this isn't working, we go to this. I mean, there's so many scenarios they can run through. But I think this will be match of the night, and this will be the third match on the card, no matter what, because I think you have to have a cooler before you go into the main event. So this is going to be match of the night. I am looking forward to this. In this case, I want Aleister Black to win, but I think Cole will actually be the person that comes out on top.
I actually am in the reverse. I want Adam Cole to win, but I think Aleister Black will be the one that comes out on top.
Oh, interesting. I want Black to win, but I just got that feeling that no, they got to give Cole a win, and I think this is the good way to put it, especially in Philly. And they will, because Philly's going to like both guys, so it's a toughie.
I think this is a match that either logically could win, in my opinion. It's funny that you both flipped. I actually want Cole to win this, maybe a little bit more than I want Black to win it, but I think Aleister Black wins this. I think it's going to be a good night for the Undisputed Era, but I think this is where I could see Cole losing, especially if there's some shenanigans maybe earlier on in the tag team title match, so you get a pissed off Authors of Pain, where like, oh, you know what? You're going to interfere. The Authors of Pain come out, maybe a Super Collider, something like that. So I think this match is going to be fantastic. It's going to be really fun. I think this is match of the night. I don't think there's going to be a question about that, but I most certainly say I'm going to go with Adam Cole, probably eating Black Mass 25 minutes in. Yeah.
So if this was a normal match, I think you give it to Cole hands down. The fact that you've added in the Extreme Rules, I think gives it a little bit more of that mystery of Aleister being very creative and doing something extremely cool or anything like that. And this one is this is a very hard pick, but I'm going to go with Adam Cole.
All right. I think this one, I think this match is the first one that we're going to see over the weekend that we're all torn. I'm torn on. You guys are as well. That we're just not sure. But besides my my stupid pick of AJ Lee, but we'll talk about that on next week's show. But overall, I think that this weekend's going to be a great weekend for wrestling. I really think that NXT TakeOver is going to outshine. And I think that Black and Cole have match of the weekend, and then I think you're going to have to go with right after that. I think we're going to have to pick Benjamin and Gable and Usos, their match, and then go to Styles, and then whatever for the other ones. But it's going to be a great weekend of wrestling. I'm really looking forward to this. And I think all of you guys are too. So any last words, Aaron?
No, I'm looking forward to it. Royal Rumble is the one match, the one pay-per-view I really look forward to every year. I loved what they did last year, other than Orton winning, is what it is. But it was a very well-laid Royal Rumble, and I think this year's they have an opportunity to also continue down that path.
And Roger?
Last year, the Rumble was the best pay-per-view of the WWE by far. Like, I don't think there was anyone that was really all that close. I think this year could probably set the tone and be the best card of the year. They've got the talent. They've got the matches booked pretty properly. It's just about how they execute. So I'm pretty excited for both Saturday and Sunday. I think for the first time, NXT might actually have a competitor. And that's rare that happens.
And Doug, you have the last word.
I'm not so confident as that. I like the NXT card a little bit more. I would like the main event card a little bit more if it wasn't really that predictable. And then the Rumble too. I think without having Strowman is probably not going to be in the Rumble. Kevin Owens is not going to be in the Rumble. Sami Zayn not in the Rumble. AJ Styles not in the Rumble. It's starting to deplete the Rumble for your big names, and I'll be excited to see the Miz in it, and because he's not fighting, so why not? But overall, I'm not 100% excited for the Rumble itself. But we'll see. I do love the Rumble match every year, and hopefully it does set up some good storylines and establish the year for 2018 for the WWE. So hopes, but not a high expectation.
And that's all the time we have for this special. If you're into the Twitter, you can follow the show at AllTheMark86. I want to thank 86 Productions for hosting and editing the podcast. And I want to thank all of our listeners for taking the time to download and listen to the show. And for Doug Hahn, Roger Cave, and Aaron Hughes, I'm Andrew Hughes. And until next time, we'll see you in the ring.